Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good day to you wherever you are. We're back with our policy and practice working group, and today Izu is going to be doing his review on chapter 7, and that's understanding privacy risk and harm. So I'm not going to take too much of your time. I'm going to say, Izu, take it away.
All right. Um, Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, good morning from everywhere we are connecting from. So, we would like to deep dive into today's session. We want to briefly understand privacy harm and risk. So, we're trying to build on the last session we had, that was a couple of days ago. We want to build on it. And in today's session, we just want to do a bit of deep dive. We want to touch the basic foundation, to becoming a good data privacy and protection officer. You require the basic foundation, and that's what we are going to look into today. So today we our learning objective will be focused on, we want to understand what privacy harm and data protection risk means. So we just want to look at those aspects, what it looks like within the document, what the document says about it. We just want to pick few things and really, really see how interesting and engaging the book is. We want to be able to identify different types within the document, what the document says, look, learn how to assess and reduce privacy risk, and implement risk-based approach. So these are what the document shows us. Now, a basic fundamental of what the document gives us core. It shows us data protection is fundamentally about preventing harm to individuals. So this is where the book speaks about how there is the data privacy and there is data protection. So data protection ensures you are giving some form of safety to the individual against any harm. And we are understanding privacy harm. Privacy harm is very essential for effective data protection. So you can see the link between privacy and protection. So when you understand what are the risks, what are the harms around privacy of an individual, then you can effectively protect that person. For example, I want to step out. You understand what are the harms around me stepping out. Then I can protect myself. Then privacy harm and risk is also an essential part for making informed decisions. So are you trying to make your decision with respect to what you're about to, the harm you're about to identify? So these are what, then also for conduction of a privacy impact assessment. So let's quickly see what did the textbook say. The book, very, very interesting book. And I would say if you've not gotten yours, you need to get yours because there are lots I might not bring out. I will just bring out some basic fundamentals considering our time for today's session. So privacy harm is the negative impact on a person when their data is misused. We need to understand that fundamental, and it can cause emotional, finance, or safety consequences. issues to that person. And what are the examples? Identity theft, embarrassment, loss of job, loss of finance, and so on. These are examples of privacy harm. It can really damage someone's identity, cause embarrassment. You can relate when we mean embarrassment. Maybe an information of yourself was put out there. Take, for example, someone is an HIV positive patient and it's put out there in the public. Imagine the level of embarrassment it brings to that person, and so on. So these are examples of harms that can be brought to an individual. And this harm, privacy harm, is, you can see it in two forms, which is tangible and intangible. Tangible and measurable harms. They are measurable harms. You see them in financial loss, physical harm, property loss, legal consequences, name them. And intangible, they are non-physical. They deal with your emotions, your dignity, your psychology, and it's you can't really feel this. You can't see them, but it's right there. The harm is right there, and that's why it's called an intangible one. But you can see the last one. They are frequently overlooked, despite being central to why privacy truly matters. So the intangible harms are what we most of the time overlook. Now, the diagram below just gives us a picture of what a tangible to an intangible impact can be. You can see the economic harm, psychological harm, discrimination harm, physical harm, reputational, autonomy, relationship harm. All these are harms, privacy, and proper culture around privacy can bring. And we have just broken them down in this next slide. The document, the textbook did a lot of justice to all this. I was just picking out silent points out of the textbook. You can see reputation damaging someone's image, financial loss of money, assets, psychological stress or mental pain. We have the physical, harming somebody's physical body. You have the discrimination, unfair treatment, unfair judgment. So these are what we have around it. Now, let's deep dive. What is privacy risk? These are contests we need to draw out from data privacy and protection. Privacy risk, what is it? Is the chance that personal data can be misused, will be misused. Is that chance. So, and that's why we as professionals, newbies, or whichever, we need to begin to gradually take that foundational steps. What are the privacy risks around this information, around this data collection process? Because there is a chance that information, data, personal information, sensitive information can be misused. And it is different from harm. So privacy harm is different from privacy risk. Privacy harm is an actual damage done, but privacy risk is a probability you are envisaging that there is a chance this can happen. And when we deep dive it, we will see the risk equals the likelihood of the harm times the impact of the harm. The likelihood, what when we say, for example, we are building an application and the application will be collecting data, what is the probability that there could be a breach, there could be a threat attack on that application we have built to collect information, which will lead to data breach? What is the chance? And that begins when you have asked yourself, you begin to think with a risk management mind. And that's where the textbook has suggested a course. You know, when people see data privacy and protection, it looks like, wow, that's small space. No. In my experience, I have noticed data privacy and protection exposes you to a lot. It exposes you to ISO 27001, information system management, information security. It also exposes you to ISO 31000, risk management. It also exposes you to, I think, 41 or 42,000, one of them, which is AI governance, and so on. So data privacy and protection does not limit you to, no, no, no. It expands your mind. You begin to think as a compliance person, a risk manager, a technical person, if possible, a legal person, because you review documents at some point. So here we just bring out those very important aspects, the risk, which is the likelihood of harm, to the impact of that harm. Now, from this document, we are able to really see some sources of privacy risk. We were able to, the textbook, the data protection foundational textbook, was able to fish out some of this. And it says internal mistake or misuse by staff. It could be yourself. It could be the third party, not only staff. So the mistakes around them, external hackers or cyber attack. So there are lots you can think of. Is it, if your database where you keep your information, is it using an API connection? Then you begin to think about API security. You can see the technical mindset data privacy and protection brings you into. Will this data be moved from one place to another? You begin to think about encryption so that you can safeguard from external attacks. So all these are what we need to continuously check. These are the sources of the risk. Technical flaws, system flaws or bug. I was in a conversation with application developer and they're like, come, are you not a data privacy and protection? How do you know this? And I was like, no, my position as data privacy and protection officer has expanded my mind. I need to understand how you develop, what systems you use in developing. I don't need to understand the integral aspect, but I need to understand what are the fundamentals. For example, developers, you are using a PHP or are you using a library? I want to know the source. I want to know what kind of database are you using? Is it a Mongo? Is it an SQL? All these are basic questions you want to ask so that you understand, okay, what are the system configuration standards for all this? Do you need system hardening? Do you need to retest their codes? So these are what you need to understand from the technical standpoint when running your privacy risk. You need to understand. Then human beings, accidental sharing or poor training. Yeah, this occurs at every time. You have maybe three Emeka in your office, and you're supposed to send it to Emeka, maybe Igwe, and you sent it to Emeka Obiora. That is simply a data breach, because if it was a confidential or a sensitive data, or just think of it, and it has been leaked out to someone who do not have the right to view that data. So that is already a data breach. So, and that leads us to continuous training our staff, everyone around us as a data privacy and protection officer. What are your strategic mindset towards training, continuous training of the staff and everyone around you? Third party, we cannot overlook them. We can't overlook third party. Very important, because we share data with them. Are they misusing our data? Are they storing our data properly? Do they have the proper technical controls within their own systems when the data goes to their system? And so on. These are what this book share with us in a very comprehensive manner. We are just siphoning things just to stay our mind so that you understand what is within this book. Now, the book also broke down some steps you can take to perform risk assessment. So there are processes. First, you identify the risk, find what data and risks exist. Example, you are collecting a survey form. You are trying to perform a survey. So what data surrounds that survey? Are you getting their names? Are you getting their address? Are you getting their emails? Are you getting their medical records? Now, what are the risks around getting all of this? Do you really need all of this data? Is there a possibility you don't need their names? Is there a possibility you only just need their names and email? So these are what you first identify. And the next one is you analyze, understand how serious the risks are. If someone's medical record is breached, how serious is it? Are there places you need to get consent? If you don't get a consent and you forward a marketing campaign to them, to the data subject, you understand there is a financial penalty for that, breaching the consent of the privacy of a data subject. So, have you analyzed and understood how serious the risk around the data you're collecting, the purpose you're using it for? Evaluation. You need to decide which risks need action, which of the risks. I've identified, oh, I am getting medical information, very sensitive information. I am getting names, personal identification, and so on. So these need action. What are the action? Begin to um, implement some controls, access controls, encryptions, and so on, so that these information are well kept. Even we begin to look at anonymization and so on. Now, treatment. So you take steps to reduce the risk. Once you've identified all the risk, we now begin to take one step at a time to reduce those risks. We monitor. You keep checking. You keep monitoring. Are there new risks? Okay, the control I've implemented, is it effective? And so on. So these are 5 steps that textbook has broken down. It's very comprehensive, very, very explanatory within the book. And here the book was able to dissect data protection range from immediate to long-term impact. So we're able to see what are the immediate risk we need to check. Immediate risk, security risk, immediate data breach, system compromise. These are what we need to check. Regulatory compliance risk, fines. Are there fines that will be required here? Are there sanctions? These are what you begin to look at. It goes from immediate to a long term. Operational risk. Uh, are there ways where we'll have process failures, human errors, data loss, and we'll begin to look at reputational damage, loss of trust, negative media, and so on. What are the impacts? And now begin to look at strategic risk. So it breaks it down from the immediate. What are you supposed to look at immediately? So immediately you're supposed to look at security risk, compliance risk. These are what you need to look at immediately. Operational risk. If your application goes down, what happens? So these are what this book breaks down for us. It gives us a lot of explanation around it. And it also talks about the DPIA, where the data protection impact assessment helps us find and reduce privacy risk in projects. So you're having a project and you begin to look at that project. Oh, what kind of data are we collecting? Are they sensitive? Are they personal data? Are they personal identifiable information? Um, where would they be stored? Who would they be transferred to? Will it be will there be a cross-border transfer? Do I begin to look at safeguard instrument for safeguard for those data and so on? So these are all what we begin to expand our mind towards. And it also begins to show us it is required when using sensitive or large scale data. That's when you know there is a need for your DPIA. Oh, there's a large scale of data. Okay, we need to perform. Or there are sensitive data that is required. So the last is just showing us the step, describe the project, assess risk, plan action, and review. For Nigeria, the commission, which is the Nigerian Data Protection Commission, have released a schedule on how we can perform our data protection impact at our DPIA. They have released it and it breaks every step. What kind of data is being collected? Who is collecting it? Is there a data flow diagram so that we understand this data moves from point A to point B, from point B to point C, and does it also recycle? So it breaks it down effectively for you're able to identify every risk around this data processing activity. Now, it also gives us mitigation strategies. When you have identified your risk, your privacy risk, you've identified every loopholes, you begin to think what strategy do I implement? How do I implement it? How do I ensure that I am doing the right thing? And that's where you begin to look at strong password encryption. These are technical controls. Do you need to implement multi-factor authentication? Are there needs for training for staff? Do you need to sign some particular contract, data processing agreement for your data processors? What do you need to put in place there? Do you need to improve required instrument for safeguard to cross-border data transfer? So do you need to look around that part? Do you need to be clear with users about data use, transparency, the data subject? Have you put within your privacy notice. You are clear on what you want to do with their data. Um, Collect only data needed, minimization, data minimization. Delete data when you are done with it. That is data retention. So these are there are a lot of them. There are a lot of them because as we keep growing, we keep seeing a lot. There, when we begin to discuss all these strategies, you begin to see there are a lot of branches around them. There are a lot of things you need to reconsider. But in this session, we just want to point out a lot of these very important aspects we need to see. Now, what are our practical checklists we need to understand? And it says act. You need to check, you need to use, you need to limit, you need to delete. So these are the practical checklists. So when you ask, what do you ask? Always ask why data is being collected. If you have not done anything, ask that question first. Why are you collecting this data? Why? That question, very important. Then what do you check? Check who has access to that data, to the personal information, to the sensitive information, who has the access to it. Use what do you use? Use strong passwords, audit systems, use MFAs, and so on. Use encryptions. There are a lot of technical controls, so we use them. Limit how much personal data you collect. We want to do project A, and we are collecting name, phone number, address, email, medical data, names of families, and so do we need all of this? Do we need all of this? Then deletion. How long do you want to keep the data? 3 months, 6 months, be clear on it. 5 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, be clear on that. Um, Now, in the course of my practice, I have seen if I say I want to keep this data for maybe 1 year, I get to 1 year and I see there is a need to keep it for an extra 1 year. It's fine, but ensure there is a communication to that effect. Ensure there is a communication to the data subject to that effect and give them that explicit right to decline on you keeping their information or to accept. That is where data subject rights comes in. So in all, what has this engagement brought to limelight? We have seen what does privacy mean to you personally. So to you personally, what can you say privacy is to you personally? What can you say it is? Can you think of a time when your privacy was harmed? So this will give you an idea on what to do, why it is important to perform a privacy risk assessment, why it is important to perform a DPIA. So when you understand all of this, then you begin to get that mindset around it. How can we reduce privacy risks in our daily work? So these questions, a lot of these questions, I stamp them around my office, around my laptop, my sticky notes. So a lot of these questions helps us understand, oh, how do we engage with any of these happenings? And in closing, um, this chapter 7, it's about 20 pages, which has been reduced, summarized to this part because, taking them will spend 2 hours here or we'll go over our time. So what have we seen? We have seen that privacy harm and risk are real and can affect anyone. They are real. It can affect anyone. It can affect the CEO. It can affect the data subject, the customers, your colleague, and so on. By understanding and managing risk, we can protect people's data properly. So I will also encourage us, though there are a lot of free documents online, just go on risk management, understand it, how to, you don't need to go in depth, but you need to understand the basic fundamental, how you can perform risk assessment, likelihood, what are the impacts, and so on. You begin to understand, is it a 4 by 4, is it a 2 by 2, and so on. So those terms just gives you a clear understanding on what is needed. And the final one is we need to keep learning. We need to keep learning. For me, I don't stop learning. If possible, I can jump into every training session, but as much as we can do, keep learning, keep growing, and let's keep applying these practices within our individual life and our own personal workspace within our organization. So thank you so much. And please, questions or contributions?
I have one. Or for anyone who wants to send a question, please just raise your hand and I'll put you on. But I wanted to just understand something you spoke on earlier about the Nigerian Data Protection Authority having a schedule that was out with regard to the DPIAs. Is it more of a template? Is it something with examples, or it's more of an advisory on how to perform a DPIA?
So it's both. So you have the advice, a documented advice how to do it. Then you now have the templates that takes you through step one, stage two, stage three, all you need to do. So it encompasses both within the policy.
And just to confirm, uh, you said that with the DPIAs, they do help mitigate, but are they an absolute, or is there? It's still at the end of the day, it's even no matter how much you do, the harm still can happen, and even if you plan as much as you want, privacy harm can then still happen. Like, is there
Yes.
always this oversight and so on?
Yeah. So um, you know, for me, I always say first do the basics, do the needful. The DPIA is the basic, is the needful. Once you do it, it somehow has a ripple effect on whatever unknown risk that might come up. For example, like we said, let's say healthcare. You're collecting, you're trying to build an application to collect informations of patients, store them. Now, the DPIA runs you through, you're able to identify what is this application going to do, what kind of information is going to be collected, are they sensitive, are they personal, are they confidential. Now you begin to deep dive, what are the risks around collecting this kind of information. We need a consent from the data subject. What are the technical controls we need to put in place? I am so very, very much confident that if you're able to put at least 90% of those controls in place, you would surely be on a safer ground than when you don't do anything. Yes, risk are probability, they could happen, unknown risk. We have, from what we say, 0-day threats. That comes up within applications, vulnerabilities within application, yes. But have you implemented your encryption? That's the second layer of protection and so on. So these are what helps around it.
Okay, great. I know this is early, but I noticed like you actually also looked at the privacy impact assessments chapter. Would you be able to share with us again like this? I found this session particularly informative. So
Will it
I
be
don't
now or another day?
another day, I think in April, around
Yeah,
2
sure,
April.
sure, sure. That's possible. That's possible.
Wow, that'll be great. Thank you.
Yeah, that's possible.
Thank you. Uh, Justice has a question.
Hello?
You need to unmute. Yes.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi,
Greeting.
Justice.
Yes. I don't think I raised a hand. Did I? Sorry. But
Yeah.
it was a nice presentation. It was a good presentation. Thank you, Izu.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
So my hands was on. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Can we assume no questions from the attendees? All right. So let me just do the wrap up then. So Izu, I'm just going to say thank you for that. As you've heard from Justice as well, we really enjoyed this one. It was quite informative. And next week, we'll be looking at threat modeling, and that's with the Linden process. I think Innocent is the one who did that. So I'll just reach out to Innocent and I'll feed back to the WhatsApp group and let everyone know whether or not he'll be able to present for us. But thankfully, Izu has already said he'll help us with PIAs, privacy impact assessments. I'm really looking forward to that one. All right, to everyone that managed to attend. Okay. Is there? We have a question. Let me, Anselmi. Yes, you're on.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear
Hello.
you.
Yes, good afternoon, good morning from where you are listening. I just have a question. Is it possible to have a template of the DPIA? Because since I'm trying to draft a template to use, but I'm struggling. It's like I don't know, but it's somehow hard for me. So since during the presentation, the presenter explained it clearly, so I'm like, is there a possibility for him to share with us a template? Thank you.
Yes, yes. I don't know. Are you on the group?
Yes, I think I joined the community, but the WhatsApp group, I don't think so. I've never been asked to join or receive a link to join the WhatsApp group. So if there's a WhatsApp group, I would like to join it.
Send a
Okay.
request to the phone number in the chat. That's my phone number. I'll put you into the group. Oh, sorry. Let me edit that. There's a mistake there. That's 263.
So basically, what I would be sharing would be more from the Nigeria Data Protection Commission. You can just check that, look at it, and maybe draft something that could suit you. I don't know if you understand.
What's wrong? Okay, but another thing, I'm not able to see the number in the chat, so the chat is
Oh,
locked.
sorry. It's marked host and panelist. Let me just change the to everyone.
Or can I upload on the chat here? Is it possible?
Yes. there should be
Okay,
an option.
let me see if I can upload here on the chat. Please confirm if you can see it.
Okay, I
Yes.
saw the number.
Oh, Izu, just change from host and panelists to everyone.
Okay. To everyone. Yes. Please confirm everyone on the call. Can you see I don't know, Assalam, can you see the document I just uploaded to the chat?
No, we can't. In my side, I can't. But I can see the number posted in the chat.
Let me see if I can save that.
Okay, just hold on. Prince would help us and
Why
see.
waiting? Why waiting? I have another question. So let us take a practical example, right?
Okay.
You are drafting a contract, like you have like bit of fourth contract to draft. How can you use the DPAI when drafting those contracts? How can you implement it practically? Just like not only a part of the software developer or IT. Let us go in another field.
Okay. Now, note these two difference. The data processor agreement is an administrative control within a contract. You can have a data processor agreement as a whole contract. It only speaks to data. Then your legal team can have an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, where you infuse data protection clauses within it. That is how I practice. So that is just like an agreement that binds two parties on how to ensure they utilize the data. For example, the data controller, the data processor, it binds the two entities together on how they will process the information. Now, a DPIA is a technical assessment step-by-step process for you to one, identify what is the project about, what kind of information is it going to be processing? Is there a data flow diagram? What is a data flow diagram? You want to understand from what point do I collect the information? What point do I begin to process them? Before processing them, was there a consent? Was there a privacy notice to the data subject to inform them what their information will be used for, and so on? So that's what the DPIA ensures. It ensures there is the culture of privacy risk. You are able to contain it, you're able to understand what is happening and implement technical controls. But your data processor agreement is like a contract. It just binds the two people a legal document that says what and what you should do. I don't know if that's clear.
Yeah, that's clear. Thank you. That's clear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh. Oh, you're a bag full of experience. Oh, so thank you so much, Izu. What we're going to do is next week, as we'll be looking at Linden threat modeling. We should have Innocent. I'll just confirm if you'll be available. Then the week after, I think that's around 2nd of April. That's where we'll be getting Izu again on PIAs. And with that, I'm just going to say thank you to everyone that managed to make it. And expect this one on YouTube tomorrow, give or take. I actually owe you the link for yesterday's webinar. I'll share that with you shortly. Everyone, thank you, and join us next week as we delve deeper into data protection foundations. Bye, everyone.
I
Bye-bye.